Hello there and welcome to this week's video. Kalki is definitely a visual treat, I will give you that. But if you're somebody who likes fantasy or sci-fi or the old ancient Indian mythology or any mythology for that matter, you are definitely not going to like this movie. I happen to really love fantasy and the old mythologies, not so much sci-fi. And I had a terrible time with this movie because it's basically a khichdi of everything: fantasy, sci-fi, mythology, and so on. And now everything reminds me of Kalki and how disappointed I was with it. So it's appreciable that they tried to create a story about Kalki, who is the 10th avatar of Lord Vishnu, who is just a prediction until now. But the problem is, it's not really a story yet. Rather, it's a visual treat created by combining Star Wars, Marvel, Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Resident Evil, Hunger Games, and also Mad Max. And also with some inputs from the epic Mahabharata. It's like watching bits of pieces of 5 different movies with a very loose thread between them. If anybody likes this movie, it's because of how great the Mahabharata epic is. And they have more or less been so unfair to that story as well. Look at the Krishna. How can you make Krishna look so unappealing? It's a story where one rogue hero who have no idea who he is, one protector waiting for the one to protect, one woman leader in white clothes taking care of everything and talking to people from a remote place, one resistance with really amazing clothes and weird vehicles, one ultimate villain who isn't fully formed yet, his minions, and that's about it. And Resident Evil, one woman escaping a lab with a baby and joining the resistance. So the movie is about Kalki, so Lord Vishnu and the Mahabharata epic all becomes very important in this movie. Ashwadhama, a central figure in the movie, is said to have been cursed by Lord Krishna, and he is waiting for the return of Kalki so that he can protect him. And I cannot stress enough, is this Krishna? Krishna is an embodiment of goodness and valor and empathy, kindness, good conscience, everything good in this world. And this is how they think they should portray Krishna. I simply don't understand that. There is no goodness or humility or wisdom in the way that this figure looks. Anyway, so Ashwadhama was the son of Dronacharya, a great warrior from the side of the Kauravas. And when Kauravas are defeated and all of the Kauravas killed, he could not bear that pain and he wanted to avenge the Pandavas after the war. And he goes to their kingdom and he kills all their heirs, thinking that they were Pandavas. And that enrages Arjuna, and both of them, Ashwadhama and Arjuna, takes their Brahmastras, and the Brahmastras are about to collide. And that's when all the deities intervene and say that if the Brahmastras collide, it will be the end of the world or the universe, so that couldn't happen. Arjuna knew how to take back the Brahmastra, but Ashwadhama did not. So he directs that Brahmastra to Uttara's womb, where Parikshit is living. So is still a child. That enrages Krishna so much that he curses Ashwadhama to be a weak, old, sick person till the end of the world. Because Ashwadhama is immortal, he will live till the end of the world, but only as a sick, weak, old person. So in this movie, they have given an add-on to Ashwadhama by saying that when Kalki is reborn, he will find a new purpose, thereby his curse will be lifted or something like that. But I don't understand why Ashwadhama needs to change, because he has never been an embodiment of good or of virtue or of courage. Rather, he is a bad character in Mahabharata. So why would he change? How can Krishna curse somebody into being a good person? I didn't know that would happen. The goodness came from within. That's what we believe, right? So I simply don't understand why Ashwadhama changes and becomes a good person and protects the press and protects the next avatar of an individual who wanted to destroy him and who destroyed his life. How is that possible? Another very important thing in this movie is that they have taken so much from Bhagavatam, or the story of Lord Vishnu, but they have not included anything that is central to that story. Karma or dharma or virtue, courage, none of that. There is not one good, that is dharmic individual in this movie. And there is no mention of Brahma or the existence of the universe, how it came to exist, so on, in this movie, the way that it has been said in the Indian mythology and the Indian epics. And it also doesn't talk about any other mythological figures like Shiva or Brahma or Indra, who are all very important to the stories of Lord Vishnu. So it's just another fantasy movie created by Indian creators, filmmakers, with no soul to it. I know I have been giving a lot of spoilers throughout this video, but this is like a really spoiler alert. So Miriam and Shampala are very suspicious. Firstly, how does Shampala remain so rich and abundant and full of resources, even to clothe the soldiers in such amazing costumes when they don't even get rain, or there won't even be one plant growing there? I mean, how do they remain so abundant in such drought and famine-like conditions? Are they stealing from the complex? And more importantly, how do the complex stop the rain? There is no healers, no magicians, no wizards, nobody who is able to, not even a guru or a proper sage, nobody who could control the weather or the external circumstances, but for some reason they are able to stop the rain within this very small boundary. How do they do that? And Miriam's death is also really weird. How can she be so weak as a leader? How can the resistance be so weak and fragile that they are so unfocused, decentralized, yet they survived for so long? Was the complex being benevolent in keeping them there? What is the story about? What is the reason behind that? Prabhas' character deserves a segment for itself, and his acting is horrible. So the entire trope where he is called Bhairava but actually is Karna, and then he switches back to Bhairava, it's quite weird to watch. First of all, the first question is why is Karna reincarnated? He was just a warrior king, nothing immortal or divine of any kind. And why is he reincarnated in Kalki? What is the purpose and how is he reincarnated? And if he is Karna, why is he called Bhairava? If anything, he should be called along the name of Surya, because he is Surya's son. So why Bhairava? And then why the switch? I mean, he doesn't know who he is. He touches his weapon and becomes Karna, and he is the greatest warrior. But then he switches back to Bhairava and then again kidnaps the girl. Why? I mean, the connection, the correlation is with Winter Soldier, but he had an original character which was brainwashed and switched. and that's why he keeps switching. But Bhairava realizes who he is, and then he switches back to his old obsolete version. Why does he do that? And this transition combined with Prabhas's acting is quite cringe, honestly. Ashwadhama is yet another soulless character which has singular purpose of chasing Sumati and protecting her and the child. Sumati is yet another very weird character because she has never seen or known anything beyond the lab where she was raised and kept. Yet she knows how the world works, what is good and bad. And that's not inherently in her. She just somehow knows that. I don't understand how, because most of these characters have a learning curve where they realizes the difference between good and bad, which is just not there in her. And Ashwadhama, there is a scene where Ashwadhama is tied up by the complex because there is no other way to keep him in check. And he remains tied up. All the while the fight is happening, the Bhairava becomes Karna, he is tied up, and then Karna saves Sumati. Then also he is tied up. By the way, once again, why should Karna help the reincarnation of Lord Krishna when he troubled him so much in the previous life? And then the moment Karna switches back to Bhairava, Ashwadhama is able to come loose. What a magic. What is the logic behind all of this? How can he suddenly untie himself when Bhairava is leaving with Sumati? Kalki has messed up a lot of things in my head. It has twisted up everything. I would rather prefer a good movie with a wonderful story, a simple good movie with a wonderful story about this character Kalki that we are all waiting for. Now you would ask, why are you giving this movie so much credit and these creators so much credit? Why are you expecting so much from them? But I don't think that argument stands anymore, because it's high time that Indian creators start creating something on their own rather than by copying and redoing everything out of context. What the Western people have been churning out, because we have experimented and created good movies before. It is visually. Now we need something that has some soul and something to call its own. Let's be truly Atmanirbhar Bharat. So what do you think about this movie? Did you like Kalki movie? Let me know what you thought about it and what would you improve in Kalki. Share it in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and share it with somebody. Until we meet next time, bye bye. Well, it goes without saying that I don't have a sponsor yet. But not to worry, I will sponsor my own video. More precisely, my book will. This is the first book that I wrote. It's a realistic fiction novel about 4 teens in a city enmeshed in a life of drugs, love, violence and chaos. A tale of isolation and desperation one feels among known strangers in an unknown city. Well, this book is available on Amazon and Flipkart. The links will be in the description. I will also share the link to the video trailer of the book. So check them out. And now back to the video.